It's a 2020 film, An American Pickle. If that sounds weird to you, yes it is. And why did I watch this kind of film? Because it was a pickle film, guys. This was one of those films where you go on your phone, you go on the YouTube Shorts, you come to me. I kept on seeing clips of this film about a guy selling pickles. I was like, what the hell is this film? I've never heard of it before. I don't know. It's doomed to be one of those films that you'll always see the same couple clips of on YouTube Shorts, but you'll never know what it's really called. You'll never really know. Until today, I was looking on Netflix just seeing what's new on there, and I saw, oh, it's the pickle film! So I watched it, and it was great. Like, it's not the most thought-provoking film of all time, but it's very funny. It's very funny in how ridiculous it is. A guy goes into bins and gets salt and pickles, and then uses rainwater, and then it's just such a stupid idea for a film. Well, let's set the scene. All starts a long time ago in a place far, far away with a Jewish guy called Herschel Greenbaum. And it's all about him and his wife meeting and realising, oh, this place kind of sucks. So they go, and just like, because some people went and burned down their house and just like, we're going to move to America. And they did. And he decided to work in a pickle factory. But we got to work. What they'd let him kill the rats. For every 10 rats he killed, he'd get a nickel. Nickel, yeah, they said. And he was just like, not much pay, but at least I could afford stuff. But I was still sad I could not have seltzer water. That boy seems to really want seltzer water. And he's just like, okay. But it's good. And then it's just like, but one day when there was a bunch of lads, I fell in a vat of pickle. And then what happened is they closed the pickle tub because they got condemned. And 100 years later, someone found me. And apparently some scientists figured out how I survived. And it didn't make any sense to me, but here I am. He's my one relative, Ben Greenbaum. And the fact that Seth Rogan plays Herschel and Ben, it's a great double act. Sometimes when a film tries and does a double act, Jack and Jill, they fail miserably at it. Sometimes when we do it, it's good. This time, it really feels like they're separate characters until near the end. But we'll get to that, don't worry. But it feels like they're actual characters. It feels like they're not just played by the same actor. It feels like they're complete different actors. But they're not. And Herschel Greenbaum, he's just like, can we go to the place? And he goes to his house, he's just like, seltzer water. He's just like, wait, you have a machine of seltzer water? And he shows him cool stuff. Now it's modern day. You know, he's like, oh, okay, this is cool. But his wife died, like 70 years ago. And he's just like, no true. And he's very sad. But what happens is, Ben is just like, can we go to a place with family? It's just like, oh no, his great grandson, and Ben, he's not Jewish, and he's just like, oh, why not? I didn't really get into all that stuff. It's just like, oh, okay. But he still goes to these, and he's just like, and now the place where the gravestones were and everything, it was all decrepit, and they had a massive sign for vodka, which was created by the people he really hated back in his original town. At least that's what he said. So he's just like, I'm gonna get rid of sign. So he gets rid of sign, but he tries to fight the people who are putting up the sign, and then he's just like, no, you can't do that, and gets charged with assault and has to bail him, and Ben has to bail Herschel and him and Ben and himself out of the out of prison. And then it gets to like, he's just like, but do you want to stay with me? Just like, and and Ben's trying to develop an app where it's just saying how ethical your certain item is. When you get to invest, it's just like, well, you can't really rely on an ethical app when the founder of the app isn't very ethical. Sorry about that, mate. So, no, Herschel! No, Herschel! Annoyed. She's like, oh, come on. But, apparently, then he's angry at him. And Ben's just like, you can't last one day. You're not going to make any money. I need your help. And just like, no, I sell pickle. He goes, this is where the famous YouTube Shorts clip happens. And he's just like, I find pickle in the shop 90 cents. Sounds like you're saying 90 cents for pickle. Yes, I am. Or then he finds pickles in the bin, finds salt in the bin, and uses rainwater. And so starts saying, pickles for people. Just like, $4 pickle, $3 cheaper, and I take jar back. And it's just like everyone's saying benzoids or preservatives. It's like, I do not even know these words. Everyone's just like, I like your style, and so is everyone else. And he's just like, oh, this is great. And then Ben gets annoyed at him for actually succeeding. So do you know what Ben does? This is where Ben turns into a villain. Ben calls his father's report of the health, and he's just like, nah, man, you gotta stop this. And just like, what God? So he gets an intern who he actually calls a slave, and because of the intern, they bring it all up to code, and it's great. And now they've got the code, everything's going well, and they've managed to take down the sign. Then Ben tells him to use Twitter. Well, formerly known as Twitter. Elon Musk, don't you dare talk about what it's actually called. It's Twitter. It's not that letter, okay? No. What do you to say? And it's just weird, and they're just like, but then people are just like, well, actually, I think he's just an activist for free speech. And Ben's just like, come on, just give up, guys. Do you know what? He's just like, he tends to roast. And because he's got like opinions from like 100 years ago, he's just like, well, what do you think about praying in schools? And just like, what do you think about Christian praying in public schools? Just like, well, I think Mary was a prostitute and she created religion to try to hide that she was. And everyone gets angry at him, and now, oh no, my pickle business is down. And then he asks Ben, apparently he needs to escape the country because now he's a fugitive because he can't find his original citizenship. So he asks him so he doesn't get reported because he hates his home place. He asks Ben, can you take me to Canada? Like, why would I do that? So you have to deal with me, basically. It's like, okay. And by the time they're almost there, just like, I'm sorry, man, about earlier. I'm sorry. I was the one who reported you. I was the one who told you to use Twitter, knowing you'd say terrible things. I was the one who said the one about praying in schools. So, will you forgive me? And Herschel just starts whacking him with his fist. He's just like, poof, poof, poof. And to hide from, and then people are trying to find him, and to hide. But we show he's being and pretends to be Ben. He's just like, Herschel's over there. And boy, believe it, Ben gets deported instead of Herschel, and he's just like, I only speak English. And then goes to a Jewish place of worship. I don't know what they're called, sorry. But, I mean, he's just like, why are you here as well? I'm just like, I'm sorry for earlier. I misbehaved. I'm sorry too. Just like, how about we sell pickles around the world? We're going to do a pickle business together. Yes. And then he talks about, you know, they're pickling everything now. Pickling watermelons, they're pickling juice, they're pickling this and that. And I'm like, it's just like, really? And I thought you guys were milking a lot, reference earlier when he was talking about how there's pea milk, almond milk, all these milks. Just like, how do you get milk out of almond? And it's such a silly film. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a little bit serious, but it doesn't go too far. It's comedy. It's very much deadpan. Yeah, it's very much deadpan, which is like, you know it's not being serious, but it sounds like it's being serious, but you know it's just a joke. And it's based on a short story, which I'd like to read now, because it's a short story, not a novel. Like The Sheep Detective, which is like 400 pages, or Project Hammer, which is 500. No, thank God it's a book. And thank God it's a film based on a book that isn't 5,000 pages long. Last I think that happened was The Polar Express. But overall, The American Pickle is a brilliant, weird, silly and funny movie. Starring Seth Rogan and a bunch of other characters who play minor characters. Basically, he's the only main character. Everyone else is a side character, basically, because he plays both the main characters. But the film is very funny. The fact that Ben is taking like a super villain, talking about how I'm going to report him. But then everyone loves his pickles because they're just like, and the people who come up to him, the hippies who are just like, I like your style. It's just so funny. And the fact is, I just saw that a couple of these scenes, such as when the scenes I saw were the scene where he finds the stuff, the scene where he starts selling it to those two, the scene where he gets shut down, which is like, I thought it was like the main bit of the film, but actually it's only like a 10-minute portion of the entire film. Not the best bit of the film, but the fact that probably preserved in pickles for 100 years is best way to time travel. You know, Dr. Evil freezing himself and being like, for when Austin Powers is dead or something. In the 1990s. No. We got someone getting preserved in pickles, man. Pickle. So yeah, that's great. And Herschel Greenbaum is so funny. Gouger's just like, you got any benzoids or put it? I do not even know his words. He's so funny. Seth Rogen did great. I thought that Seth Rogen did so well with Herschel Greenbaum. It's just like, he did so well at it. Such a funny, weird movie. Go watch it. If you have Netflix, it's on Netflix right now, as of 2026 in May. And it also got a DVD release, even though it was originally a HBO Max original film. But now, if he's saying you can pickle anything, I'm going to try and pickle something as well. Oh, there's nothing. I shall pickle ice cream. That's enough. That looks good. That looks good. That ain't looking mate. That pickle ice cream sits for a while. Now it's time to eat pickle ice cream. Okay. Hello to James Holmes pickle tasting. This time we'll be trying brand new pickled ice cream. And if I'm pickling fruit now, they can pickle ice cream. Right? Oh, thank God. That was disgusting. You know what for today? Don't pickle ice cream.